Welcome. In this video, we'll talk about making 10K per month because it does seem like this is the topic that kind of resonates with you the most. And I mean, I get it, but this will not be your typical 10K per month type of video with a lot of cuts with this like ADHD type of editing. In fact, this one will be completely different. This will actually be, I'll try to make it as raw as possible. It's totally unscripted. I mean, all I have here is I have this notepad where I have a few bullet points. Because while it seems like it's a simple topic, what we'll be covering today is actually pretty fucking complicated. So I'll try my best to not get off track too much, which is what I tend to do sometimes when I make unscripted videos. I also have some coffee here, just to kind of fuel me for for today's video. And then another thing I have, and it's quite a powerful one, I have something like this. I'm not sure if you can see that. Have something like this, right? And I'll tell you down the line why I actually found it, because I've created this one for the first time like a year and a half ago, or like a year ago, something like that. But this stuff is very powerful, and this document right there, I mean, it's had an insane impact on me being able to finally start making 10K per month. Now, I also decided to choose like a slightly different angle because I want to kind of make it more like a conversational type of video. I mean, actually, last weekend my friend came over and he also has a business, and we just sat right there, exactly the same spot. We smoked a bit, and we basically just had some conversations about life and business. And so that's what I'm trying to replicate here. I guess I should introduce myself a little bit. So how do I put it? I'm like in the middle of making it, right? So like I'm not a millionaire yet. I'm not this like rich, wealthy type of guy. I haven't achieved financial freedom yet, but I'm also not a beginner. I can't really call myself a beginner. So I'm making around 6 figures per year. Oh, I mean, not around, like actually more than 100K. I do it with my own business. So I have my own company. It's officially registered in my city. It's a done for you company. And I make around like 15-ish K per month. And I'm planning to at least double that by the end of this year. But we'll see how that goes. And so this video will not be about like how do you achieve financial time, location freedom, because that's just something I haven't done yet. This will be the video on like the thing that like the most important thing that actually matters when it comes to going from 0 to 10K per month. And what I tend to notice, especially recently, because I've been like dealing with a lot of beginners recently because of the other stuff I do. And what kind of, I was a bit surprised about that, but a lot of times it's not about the physical actions that people need to take to make 10K per month. Because I'm in the agency field, right? So I think everybody knows what you need to do to get to 10K per month with the agency. Like if we were talking about tangible items that you can follow and do every single day. I mean, you just need to do outreach, right? You need to book sales calls and you need to attend them and make sure you not shit the bed and you can close the clients. It's really that simple. And then you just need to repeat it like 10 times a month and you're making 10K per month. Boom. It's everything in between that is hard for the beginners. And which is why I basically decided to record this video. And I'll tell you what actually was the number one thing that helped me go from 0 to 10K. So when I first started, and I think I'll include a video right now. So when I first started, I pretty quickly realized that it's actually harder than I thought it was. I mean, the concept kind of made sense. I just knew, I knew what actions I need to do basically to hit 10K per month, right? I need to reach out to people, tell them that I can potentially help them grow their business and kind of move from there. But what I realized is why is it so hard to actually do this stuff? I mean, why is it so hard? Because I remember very vividly, me waking up at 6 a.m. And doing cold calls to Australia. And I just remember how painful it was. And I couldn't find out why. Because if you think about it, it's really not that hard. You're not, you're not fighting anyone. You're not going to war. Just wake up, you take this microphone, take this microphone, connect it to your laptop, open high level and just start calling and just start speaking words on the phone. And if something goes wrong, you can always hang up. But why was it so painful? And this was the question that kind of got me, right? And I just couldn't figure it out. But as soon as I did, I literally went from like 3K per, or like 2K per month to 15K per month in September 2023. And in August, I made like 2.5K, literally, right? And so, what is the most important thing when it comes to getting from 0 to 10K per month? It's not outreach, it's not sales, it's not the actual tangible. In fact, it doesn't even matter what model you do. If it's e-com, fucking trading, agency, coaching, I don't know, info products, it doesn't matter. What matters is your paradigm and your belief systems. Now, before you click off this video, I'm also no bullshit woo-woo type of guy, right? And I was always very skeptical about this mindset thing. I'm like, why do I need mindset? Just tell me like the tangibles, like what I need to do. Just tell me. I can work hard. Just tell me how to do that. Well, it didn't work. And only after I kind of got into that topic of like why we do things the way we do them, only then I realized why it was so hard. And so here's the thing you need to realize. Successful people, right? People that made it, people that make a lot of money, they believe completely different things than you believe in, right? Like when they look at the world and they see things, they just see different things, right? And it was very hard for me to understand. But like, if I give you like a more tangible example, let's say, I don't know, elections in the US, right? And you have two candidates. Why like 50% of people will look at the candidate A and say, oh yeah, he's a great guy. But then another half of people will look at him and be like, oh, he's a fucking murderer. Like, why is that happening, right? The person is the same person. But why people have different beliefs about what it feels like the same subject just didn't make sense to me, right? But then I realized. And so what matters is your paradigm. Your paradigm is basically, it's like the glasses that you use to view the world, right? And it's basically a collection of all the beliefs that you have about every single topic in the world, right? Whether it's, do you like apples or not? Whether it is it easy to make 10K per month or not? Whether it is, am I good at sales or am I bad at sales? That's all combined, that's your paradigm. And in fact, you actually also have like micro paradigms or beliefs about every single topic, right? Whether it is sales, marketing, if we're talking about business, whether it's relationships, sex, right? Sport, etc. You have beliefs about every single subject that you are aware of, right? And what most people fail to realize, and this is actually why most people can't get to 10K plus per month, is they really don't view things that way. Like they view things not for what the things are, but they view things for who they are. And it might sound complicated, but they don't realize that the reason why they think about this topic in a certain way is not because of the topic itself, but it is about their perception, right? So when they look at sales, they just view sales sales is hard. It's just hard because sales is hard, right? They don't view it like, well, I perceive sales to be hard right now because I've had a lot of negative experience with sales in the past, which is true, right? But 99.9% of people don't view things that way. They just view things and they think that's it, right? Where in reality, it can't be the same. It can't be like that. Because if it was like that, then, every single human being on the planet will think the same about one thing, right? And yet, it's not true. And so what that means is we actually look at the same things and we see different things, right? And where I'm going with this is, as soon as you realize that, and as soon as you start actually perceiving your beliefs and your paradigm as something that is malleable, that just changes everything. Because now you can change it. And now, before we talk about how we change it, and and this is why I actually have this thing. Damn, I found it like that's cool. We'll talk about that. But before we talk about how we change that, I need to talk to you and kind of explain how do the beliefs form, right? And I want to give you a tangible example. And I didn't realize this until I was like, I don't know, 20. I'm 21 right now, just so you know. So I can't remember when it like kind of started to happen because let's rewind back. When I was at primary school, right? Like the first grade to the fourth grade, I was like doing really good at school, right? So I was like, my grades were like almost perfect at any subject. But then I think starting from maybe the sixth or like seventh grade, my math started to kind of slip. I can't remember why it happened. It doesn't really matter. But for some reason, somewhere around this time, I developed this very strong belief that I suck at maths. For some reason, right? And I remember my grandma actually telling me, yo, man, you don't suck at maths. Like, you're good at maths. You just convinced yourself that you are bad at math. And I'm like, nah, I mean, I'm just bad at math. But just like this year, I realized that she actually was right. It's not that I was bad at maths, because like, why did I all of a sudden became bad at maths when I used to be good at it? And then I started to think about it, and it seems like I realized that probably what happened is I had one or a few different negative experiences with maths around the sixth or seventh grade, and because of that, I just convinced myself that I suck at maths. And because now I start to perceive myself as somebody who is bad at maths, well, guess what? There's no way I can be good. There's no way I can learn hard enough, right? I can't take the actions that a successful math student would because I don't perceive myself as such. And this is just a very small example. But what I need you to realize is every single belief that you have about things, right? So you go outside of the street, right? And you're like, well, I mean, I see a dog. Oh, I mean, I love dogs. They're very beautiful. I don't know. I see this guy eating a cheeseburger. Oh, he's bad. He sucks. Cheeseburger is very unhealthy, right? And all those things that you think about the subject, a lot of times they actually were created quite randomly, right? And probably 99% of the time, the thing that you believe about the thing is just one or two negative experiences that you had about this thing, most likely in early childhood, right? And now I think it's important time to talk about a very interesting thing about your brain, right? So let's imagine a situation, right, where you go to bed, you go to sleep, right? And you have a really terrible nightmare. And you wake up and you are all like pumped up, ready to take action, sweaty, you just like are freaking out. But in reality, nothing really happened, right? But even your body's response is as if something is like you're in a dangerous situation or something like that. But in reality, it's not. So where I'm going with this is, and that's quite a cool thing I realized. And I mean, obviously I didn't like come up with it myself. Obviously, right? But I learned it. Our brain doesn't actually see the difference between things that happen in real life and the things that we imagine. And it's so hard to believe. But if you think about it, you'll actually come to the conclusion that it's right. So our brain, like if I have a very awkward situation on the date, right? And the thing happens. And then I go back to home and I start thinking about the situation and replaying the situation and still feeling the same emotions I felt back then. My brain doesn't see the difference. Like my brain and your brain literally thinks that it's the same situation happening over and over and over again. In fact, we even have this response to our mind and to our body, right? There were countless studies on that. I mean, you can look it up, but it's actually true. And this is what's so fascinating about it, right? Our brain doesn't see a difference. So where I'm coming with that, and why sometimes people have such strong beliefs and they don't even understand why. Like, let's go back to the math example. So something bad probably happened to me, right? Maybe I wasn't prepared and I just failed like a math lesson or something like that. And because of that, I felt some emotions. But what I did then is I replayed this scenario again and again and again in my head, up until the point where the belief that I suck at math was so solid that I couldn't even see past that. I just basically convinced myself, and with the help of my brain, that I suck at maths. And the thing is, you have beliefs about everything in the world, and it always forms like that. Like if you perceive sales as being something hard and it's so hard to close people, well, you probably have a messed up belief about that. And why you have that? Because probably you've had a few negative experiences about sales, and then you replayed it in your brain. But the cool part is this mechanism works exactly the same, but in the other direction if you use it properly. Meaning that if you actually think about, if something positive happens, and if you keep thinking about this thing, you will actually convince yourself that you're good at it, right? And I want to take a different example. That's a funny one. So when I was also like in the 6th grade, for some reason, I don't remember what exactly happened, but I kind of started thinking, it seems like girls like me, right? I should probably attach a picture of myself from 6th grade. It's not the most pleasant experience. But anyway, I was still like, it seems like girls just like me. They kind of want to communicate with me. I mean, they just like being around me. I'm very like outgoing when it comes to girls. Like I know how to communicate with them. And it's pretty simple for me to date, right? When I was like a kid, like 12, 13 years old. Probably because something positive happened to me. And I just got this positive reinforcement. And then from there, up until this point, because right now I'm so convinced that I'm good, like it's like insane, like you can't change that, right? And then what I did is I replayed this experience over and over again to a point where I believe that, oh shit, I'm like so crazy good with girls that like I can't even get almost any, like barely, I barely get any rejection, which is true, you know? And it's funny, right? All because of this one or, I don't know, 2 positive experiences that I don't even remember yet, right? But I just replayed it so many times to the point where I've just convinced myself that I'm good. And because I did that, I started taking actions as if I am good with girls. And that led me to a result, which is having a lot of fun, right? So the same principle, right? It's literally the same principle that goes both ways. It's the same mechanism that can make you the best in the world in something, or can absolutely destroy you to the point where you do something very bad, right? And it's not that uncommon, right? You can look it up. A lot of people, and almost all the successful people I know, they have used this tactic, right? Of like they're just aware of this thing. It's actually called mental feedback loop. I think I didn't tell you the name yet, right? But this thing is crazy powerful, right? And what I want you to realize, and coming back to the topic of the video, which is, you might have a question, well, what the fuck are you talking about? How is that related to 10K per month? Well, the reality is when it comes to the physical action of getting from 0 to 10K per month, it's very simple. It's not that hard. It's not quantum physics, right? You can figure it out in a year, right? You can do that. The hardest part is going from the paradigm of the person that is making 0 or however much you're making, going from this paradigm to the paradigm of the person who is making 10K plus per month. This is the hardest part. Because if you start viewing yourself as the person that is capable of making 10K per month, guess what? It will be 100 times easier for you. Because what I want you to realize, and let's talk about the paradigm. So the paradigm is something that we have on top of everything. Just like the glass that we use to view anything in the world. And our paradigm forms our beliefs, right? And then our beliefs shape our thoughts. So if you go on the street and you just start walking and you start having those thoughts pop up in your head, why are you having them? Like, why are you thinking this about this particular subject? It's because of your beliefs, right? Beliefs shape our thoughts, and then thoughts, they shape our decisions, right? And then decisions, they shape our actions, our physical actions. And our actions shape our reality. Because actions is eventually what matters the most, right? Like if I want to get very good at basketball, I need to train and I need to play basketball, obviously, right? And the question is, well, are my beliefs helping me out with that? Right? So this is the hardest part when it comes to getting you from 0 to 10K per month. And so if you perceive making 10K per month as something impossible to do, very hard, very like complicated, something that requires so much attention and so much power and focus that it's almost impossible, well, guess what? You will act as if it was true. Because we as human beings, we just can't take action into something that we believe is fundamentally not true. Because that's just cognitive dissonance, right? We just can't do it, right? We can't do it for a long enough time period. And this is exactly why there are so many people that start like this new year, new me type of thing, where they go to the gym the 2nd of like January and they're gone by the 6th, right? It's the same fucking thing. Because they just start taking action and they focus on changing their actions, but they don't focus on addressing their beliefs. Because there is no way they can become a skinny and a fit person until they start viewing themselves as a skinny person and start making decisions as a healthy person would. All they do is they try to change actions. And the actions is a byproduct of your thoughts. And the thoughts is a byproduct of your beliefs. And beliefs is a byproduct of your paradigm, how you view the world. And so what you need to understand is when it comes to your beliefs, it's actually malleable. Meaning that you can actually change them. And here's why I actually fucking took this thing. So I realized this concept, right? I realized this concept about like, I don't know, 16, 18 months ago or something like that. So I'm like a new kid on the block, right? And I'm like recording this live. So I'm recording the process of me making it live. I haven't made it yet, but I'm also not like a bum. Like I'm making money, I'm doing fun shit, etc. And I actually know something about the topic now. But I'm not like there yet. And so when I first realized the concept, it just clicked. Because I realized, oh, well, how can I do and attend sales calls? Because that was what's something that like the most important action for me back then. Still right now. How can I consistently attend sales calls and be good at it if I perceive myself as being a bad salesperson? Which was true back then. And I realized it just makes no sense. And so what I did is I put together this document. I'll try to show you, right? So it's actually missing a few pages, but let me show you. So we have something like this, right? So it's my identity. And we can see Leo from this movie, right? We can see Elon Musk. We can see Muhammad Ali, fucking Thomas Shelby, things I want to do. Because that's just positive reinforcement. Another thing when it comes to changing your beliefs, and like you've probably heard about the concept of like affirmations and stuff. And I was so skeptical about affirmations. You have no idea. Because I'm from Eastern Europe. I'm from Belarus. I'm very like non-mindset type of guy initially, right? And what people say is, hey, you just need to manifest it. You just need to say it and it will happen. Well, it's actually not true. Because just saying it out loud actually doesn't do anything. What matters is for you to feel it. Right? Not just say it, but feel it. Because people only remember things that they have emotional attachment to. That's just reality. Probably the most important things you remember are either very positive or very negative, right? There was this element of emotion attached. Always, it always is. This is just how we remember things, and this is how people work. And so instead of me just saying, "Oh, I drive a Lambo, I'm a millionaire," that doesn't do anything. I need to feel it, right? And which is why I actually have like a whole page of affirmations here, and actually that's the second one. I actually have one more like this, which those are words, yeah, and I can say that, but that's not the point. What I was doing every morning, and guys, bear in mind, this was when I was making nothing, $0 per month. I would sit down and I would visualize, because let me read something out. Success comes to me easily. Abundance and prosperity flow to me from every direction, and I feel exhilarated. I don't know even how to pronounce that. I can't wait to wake up every day and know that success is guaranteed for me. Now, if I just read it, that doesn't do anything. Instead, I would just sit there, or close my eyes, and I would fucking visualize it, right? Or let's do like a more tangible example. I love calling my prospects and customers on the phone. Each call is a new opportunity to build a relationship and help somebody out. Every time I call my prospects and customers, I feel relaxed and confident. And so what I would do is 2 times a day, once again, morning and late at night, I would sit down and I would visualize. I would close my eyes and I would be like visualizing how I'm picking up the phone, how I'm dialing the number, how I'm putting it closer to my head, and how the person says hello. And then I basically do the whole sales call and I close the sale. And like, I would imagine this feeling of me closing the deal and getting paid. And guys, this was when I didn't close a single deal in my life yet. And I'll sit down and visualize how people would give me their credit card information on the phone and me running the payment, and how would that make me feel? And then it happened. And that's the crazy part. I have more story. I have my story, right? So what was happening with me up until this point, and I also have my legacy, like what I was able to achieve to date. And there's like really not much. It's like a couple of shirtless pics of me going to the gym, me and my friends, because like one of my biggest accomplishments was like literally me like making friends. Like that's about it. Like the one I have right now for the future is way better. It's like say, hey, this is what I did. But at this point I was making nothing yet. And then I have my identity, right? Like what are my character traits? What are my skills? How do I look like? What is my appearance, right? It's all here. I basically just designed this character and I grew into that character and I moved on. And I've created a new vision. And have literally no doubts that I will achieve what I want to achieve, which is like 7 figures now. Because I understood this principle. And like I literally have it described like 85 kg, less than 7% body fat, ripped and muscular, right? Haven't achieved that completely, but I'm pretty close. I got very close to that actually. And like I would literally just describe this whole thing and I would read it 2 times a day, every single day until it happened. And so what we have when it comes to the mental feedback loop, we have 4 points, right? So we have beliefs, then we have actions, then we have change reality, and then we have reinforcement. And so what most people do, 99.999%, the only thing they address is they address actions. Like starting from New Year, instead of me eating chips, I'll eat healthy or I'll go to gym. And they fail because they never change their beliefs. And we just can't take an action and being consistent with taking this action towards something that we believe is wrong. That's just how we work as human beings. We just can't do that. That's, once again, this cognitive dissonance, right? And so instead addressing the actions, we should address the beliefs. Like if we go back to the sales example, do you know what? Maybe sales are actually not that hard. I can master them. Yeah, it will take time, but I can do that. And I'm actually a pretty outgoing person. And because of that belief, maybe you will be looking forward to doing sales calls more, right? And you'll be taking more sales calls. Because of that, you'll get better faster, right? And your reality will be that you just make more sales. And because of that, that will reinforce your belief, right? And because of that, you'll be like, oh shit, that actually works. The sales are actually not that hard. And literally will keep going until you become like the best in the world. But keep in mind that it works backwards exactly the same way. So if you think like, for example, I suck at sports, right? I'm not like the person that like exercises quite well. Because of that, well, guess what? You'll not do any sports because why would you? You suck at it, right? And because of that, maybe you'll get fat and you'll get unhealthy and you'll have a bunch of problems, and that will reinforce your belief. Oh yeah, my body doesn't go well with sports, right? I'm not really a person that is fit, and like that's actually so common in the world. And that's not just regarding sports, but about everything, right? Money, success, income, everything, right? And so this shit is incredibly powerful. And another thing I want you to do is once you kind of understand this concept, the number one thing you should do now is not forget it. Because I did forget about it when I first learned about it, right? I didn't take any action. I'm like, oh, that's cool, but then I just forgot about it. Because people tend to forget stuff. And so then I like rewatched the key things of like the mindset things I went through, and I'm like, shit, why did I forget about it? Like, that's so powerful. That can change my life. And in fact, it did. And I have no doubts that it will change my life over and over again because I understand the principle. Unless I just forget it, which is why I'm actually recording this video. Because why I got this idea is I realized, well, do you know what? Yeah, I got to like 6 figures and making 10, 15K per month. That's good. But you know what? My beliefs kind of got a bit fucked up again, some of them, or they're just not enough for me to get to the next level, which is 7 figures. And I realized, well, I need to change them again. And once again, I have a new version of that. It's not completely new, but it's updated, right? Because my vision obviously changed. It's been like 1.5 years. And I have no doubts like I'll get there and I'll make a new one. And then I will grow into this character again. So let me know what you think about this video and what you think about this format as well, because I've tried to make it like as raw, as unscripted as possible, because this low-key is the thing that changed my life. And this is the only thing that is responsible for me going from 0 to 10K plus per month at the age of, it was 20 back then. From a third world country with no experience, with no nothing, a complete bun, to the point where, I don't rely on a 9 to 5 whatsoever. I can work anytime, work from any place in the world, etc. Once again, not bragging, I haven't made it yet big, right? But like, I'm also not like a 9 to 5er anymore. Like, I can just do whatever I want to a degree. So let me know what you think about this video, and I really hope that it was helpful to you. And as always, yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.